miRoamer delivers a seamless multimedia experience to the car. This is great, offering access to one of the world's largest and most diverse selections of internet radio content, including Into Tomorrow, so you won't miss a minute. The founder and CEO of miRoamer is George Parthimos. George, welcome back Into Tomorrow. You've been on with us before. Glad to have you with us. How are you?
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
And you've got some exciting things happening. First of all, I want to know what the motivation was for developing this universal miRoamer internet radio platform, which, as I understand it, the integration into a car stereo, the world's first.
Absolutely. Look, I guess we've been in business now for about 6 years, and we've specialised in the internet radio space. And miRoamer fundamentally is a digital media platform that aggregates a whole lot of content providers on the internet and it puts it on a central location that customers can get on there and access and customise their listening experience.
And this is absolutely revolutionary because up till now, unless you're on a laptop with an air card or you're going through some very expensive hoops through some satellite connection or some other bizarre thing, we can't get internet radio in the car. Not very easily and not very affordably. So miRoamer's doing something here that others wish they could be doing.
Yeah, look, I guess the big news for us this year is that we're announcing a partnership with Blaupunkt, who's one of the leading car radio manufacturers in the world.
Blaupunkt, very respected and a very interesting radio brand, and they're working with you guys.
Absolutely, and Blaupunkt are looking to launch the world first dedicated car internet radio product in the second half of this year. And we've been working with them for a number of years now to make sure that we get this right, and we also get the timing right in terms of when to launch the product.
Is that part of what makes miRoamer so different than others that are trying to make this happen?
Yeah, I guess, again, going back to what I said earlier, we've been in this business now for a number of years. We've got some very strong, solid partnerships with a lot of content providers, you know, including people like Radio Time and also Shoutcast. So we have about a dozen internet radio content providers and growing on site. We have probably 20 or 30,000 internet radio stations available via miRoamer.com. So there's definitely a wide sort of depth and breadth of content available to consumers. And it made sense. Obviously, the next evolution for us was to look at the car as because if you look at the statistics, 43% of all radio listening happens in the car.
Wow.
You know, and if you really sort of delve into that, 94% of all Americans every week tune into the car while driving to and from work. Mm-hmm. So again, the numbers are quite phenomenal. And Blaupunkt, as I said, has been an industry leader in this space for decades. And so the partnership was almost one that just made logical sense for both companies.
And of course, you're enabling folks to go from maybe more than a dozen AM and FM radios in their car. And of course, then we have satellite radio that allows the ability to have, you know, a couple of hundred channels available in the car, to now limitless thousands of channels available in the car when you're using this with miRoamer, for example.
Look, it's almost mind-blowing in terms of the amount of content that's available. But I guess the reality is that the average person will probably listen to 2 or 3 stations, you know, which would be their favourite stations.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's all about providing consumers with choice, but the listening habits won't change.
And of course, what's really neat about this when we talk about radio stations is you may have a favorite radio station and now you're traveling outside of their normal listening area. You're able to actually hear them as long as they're streaming their signal online and make it one of your buttons that you would pre-select on the radio.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this whole concept so unique and so exciting. And that is that those terrestrial boundaries are now no longer there. So the product actually taps into the existing wireless broadband infrastructure that the carriers provide, and I guess that's a secret sauce, if you like, in terms of providing the connectivity. But then beyond that, you obviously need a great product, you know, from a reputable brand, obviously, to be available, and you need the right people behind it providing the content of choice.
Is miRoamer available on anything other than car stereos? Although, as if this isn't good enough. I mean, this is a major breakthrough, but I can see folks saying, well, give me more.
Sure. No, miRoamer has actually been integrated in several dozen products at the moment. Things from mini hi-fi stereo systems, portable internet radio products themselves. So we're not just focusing on a single product for us. I mean, obviously, wherever radio is now, we like to see internet radio as being the evolution of radio as we see it. So, but I guess our focus today is to announce the Blaupunkt and miRoamer partnership and the fact that this is a world first in that it is a dedicated, purpose-built car radio system.
Now, since it's Blaupunkt, am I assuming this is going to work in Germany and U.S.? What other countries, or are there limitations there at this point?
No, there are no limitations. Basically, the product will be launched to a global market. Initial launch will be European and the US markets, but there is no limit, basically, because it uses Bluetooth to connect via a cell phone. Really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what type of network you're using or which country you're from, as long as you have connectivity.
Sure. And of course, in this case, you're not using Wi-Fi, so it's not like you're driving through various areas, or every time you go by a Starbucks, maybe you'll have internet radio. It's using, as you mentioned, a cellular connection, right?
Yeah.
And Bluetooth connectivity. And of course, now it's available. You're able to connect anytime,
yes,
anywhere, as long as you've got cellular service, right?
Absolutely.
And what are we talking cost-wise? And let's talk about availability real quick before I let you go.
Well, yeah, we're looking at a second half of 2009 launch for the product. Again, okay, European and US markets initially. Price point, again, is to be confirmed, but they're looking at around the €299 for Europe and around the $399, I believe, for the US. And in terms of the ongoing, if there's any ongoing subscription fees, that really depends on the country that it gets launched. For example, if you have a data plan, an unlimited data plan, obviously it would form part of that plan.
So it could work with your existing cellular service and its data plan.
Correct, and
Very
really,
cool.
But at the end of the day, it's really up to the carriers to see how they want to launch this product into their markets.
I understand you guys wouldn't have control over that as much as you'd like to, but it has to be dealt with the carriers.
Absolutely.
You've got to check out their website, miRoamer, miRoamer.com, and of course, check out this very cool unit that Angela's showing to you on our video podcast as well of the interview with George. Check it out at our website at intotomorrow.com or Graveline.com. We're back with more from CES Unveiled in Las Vegas. This is Into Tomorrow. Don't go away.